Alright, here we go. More unboxing this time. Hey guys, this is VlogWithAvroTF here, and today I'm just gonna simply unbox almost all the Sonic toys that I've collected so far across different stores here. And most of the times I do a lot of previous Sonic unboxing videos here, so these are all the collections that I've gotten so far. First of all, here are all the DC X Sonic the Hedgehog figures that I collected. However, I do not have the full set. Second are just some extra Sonic the Hedgehog figures, including the Knuckles, Jet, and the first ever classic figure that I got, Trip, the Sun Gazer. Next is just basically the Metal Virus Sonic from IDW series. And the other ones are just miscellaneous stuff here, and I also got this Tails backpack from a GameStop. Overall, those are all the figures that I collected. So before we get into all the DC unboxing, let's just get into these Jakks figures first. So first one is just basically Jet himself with the extreme gear. This is what the box looks like here from the front side, and also includes the back as well. The back side does include all the collectible figures. Nothing particular here, so I'm just gonna simply grab a box cutter and just simply open the box itself. Alright, done unboxing here. Here's pretty much a quick review of Jet the Hawk. I know I don't have a lot to say about him since he hasn't been appearing in a lot of games until Sonic Racing Crossroads. So here's Jet the Hawk. He's basically mostly green, of course. He has his nice decorated boots here and the gloves as well. He can also move all his joints as much as he wants. And then the back side, pretty much pretty long, of course, and the tail is pretty much movable. So basically this is just Jet the Hawk himself, and the aesthetics is what gives him a good detail. And I know there's a slight paint error on one of his beaks, so that's pretty much noticeable here. But I'll still accept in whatever condition Jet is. Extra item is just basically his extreme gear. Whoops. Anyways, this is his extreme gear. This extreme gear is called the Type J, which is mostly designed out of the Sonic Riders series. There is no wheel on the bottom. It's just basically you just have to set the thing flat like this. So it doesn't actually move a lot, but it just grinds through the bottom itself. But I can attach the extreme gear on Jet the Hawk. Let's see how this works out. And okay, there. If I were to try to position it, it's not going to be very easy. I'll skip through some parts. So far I had to repose Jet the Hawk here, and I forgot to mention that he can move his wrists and arms as well. And the only difficult part is that he doesn't do the exact extreme gear pose as what I've seen in Sonic Riders and the current Sonic Racing Crossroads. But overall, I guess that's basically what Jet the Hawk looks like. He can just stand pretty much fine. Actually, that puts more weight to him, so he just tilts to the other side. I think I can adjust by just tilting his body a bit, so I don't think that looks like a good pose, but basically try to bend his knees a bit. Okay, I don't think he's able to bend his knees. Okay, I just have to slightly move his torso a bit just to balance him pretty well, but sometimes he just falls to the side like this. Overall, this is what Jet the Hawk on the extreme gear looks like. Alright, now set this aside. Here's the next one. Knuckles the Echidna. So here's Knuckles himself here, which also includes the spring. The only difference, unlike my previous Sonic unboxing videos, is Knuckles' mouth is slightly different. It's kind of like a little hard to see from where I'm looking at, but if I tilt him a little bit, then his mouth is different. Also, this is what the backside looks like just to collect all of them. Let's just unbox him. Alright, so I got him out already. The only major difference, unlike my previous Knuckles figure, is that his elbow is just basically in a static position, which I can't even move. However, I can still rotate his wrists, move his arms, and then also move all of his legs so far. The close-up of Knuckles' mouth is also different, and just like his figures, he can't turn his head that much. So overall, this is a slight downgrade for Knuckles' arm movements. Everything else about this figure looks the same for now. So just gonna see if he can just bounce pretty well. Yeah, he does bounce a little bit well. And the spring is basically the same as what I've unboxed from some of my previous figures. Alright, I don't know what to say about this. Just gonna set this aside, as well as the spring, of course. Alright, next unboxing is just basically Trip the Sun Gazer. For this figure, I don't remember where I unboxed it from a retail store, since I was too busy shopping around before my Christmas vlog of how I got the Trip the Sun Gazer. This is just the front side of what the classic box looks like, and on the back includes all the collectibles. This one I unboxed Knuckles already here, but I'm about to box Trip the Sun Gazer. Just the bronze armor for now, not the full actual character itself. So basically, this is just Trip the Sun Gazer in a box. So let's unbox it. Alright, I just got Trip out. I probably wish there's a version that also includes the actual Trip the Sun Gazer without the armor itself. Basically, everything is just hidden as well. No head is actually showing here, just the helmet. Her torso right there is also made of bronze, as well as all of her cuffs and her shoes. The only thing that's sticking out is her tail. For all the movements here, she can move her wrists barely, her arms, and her legs and feet. Her head can also turn almost like 360, well, fully 360. So overall, I have nothing to say about Trip, but this is overall one of my favorite classic figures that I've gotten so far. Even though I still wish for her normal form, the one without an armor. I said it a second time though. Trip also comes with an accessory, just the spike itself. So only thing is that it only comes with 5 pointers, to where if any Sonic character touches the tip, they will lose all the rings. So pretty much a simple obstacle for most Sonic stages. Alright, set Trip and the spike aside. This figure that I got is from Walmart. This is the Metal Virus Sonic from the IDW series. So this is what the front side looks like, which I'm about to keep. And the back side also includes just the articulation itself of what the Metal Virus Sonic looks like. Yeah, I tend to rush things a bit too much here. This figure itself does cost less than any other Jakks figures, which I got it at a good deal though. But I'm just gonna simply unbox them. Okay, here is Sonic himself covered in Metal Virus. So the only way to just intentionally paint around him is by just paint them randomly with gray, of course, to symbolize that he's infected with the Metal Virus before turning into a Zombot. So here is his initial figure itself. His expression is completely different here. I've never seen him open his mouth like this before. It does actually feel pretty detailed though. Besides that, his body and his arms, legs seem to be movable a bit. Can't even move his fingers as well as his hands, but his wrist can be rotated as well. The head can be tilted like this as well, and everything else. He does stand pretty well depending on how I pose him though. And an extra figure that I got is just Froggy covered in Metal Virus, or they call it Froggy as a Zombot. So the figure itself is fully metal green with red eyes. But hopefully that's an extra figure that comes with Metal Virus Sonic. Pretty simple design. Now I'm just gonna set both of them aside before I get infected, of course. Okay, still not yet on the DC here, but I do have an extra item that I got from a convention from a long time ago, which is just a free comic book with an extra figure. And it comes with a pretty much a good cover to what I have so far. And then just gonna simply carefully unbox it without damaging the cover itself. Get that out here. Carefully remove this comic. I'm just gonna keep the cover itself. and then pull up this figure. Okay, side note, I looked up online and apparently Lex Luthor is actually a fictional character and the figure that I'm holding. So let's get into that. So basically it's just basic figure here. Just basically not a lot of painting, but pretty much a basic simple one. I'm not even sure what to say here since I'm just losing track of what I'm about to say at most. He can move his arms, he can move his legs. I think that's all the joints he has here. His head right there is pretty much detailed, of course, and every other special aesthetics of him. And even though I don't go a lot of DC comics here, I was just saying I'm just gonna keep him for a while and just put him back in the box, just to preserve everything. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna send him back to the box here, just to preserve him, and as well as the comic book, which is called Forever Evil. Yeah, this is a free comic book I've gotten so far, and basically these are all the pages that what it looks like. Okay, because this is considered a bonus item, I'm just gonna simply keep the comic book in a safe storage, as well as the figure itself inside. So that means I can keep it as long as I can for quite some time. Well, I did at least got a bonus unboxing done. But now, this one right there, I have not gone through this item here. It's called Mess Free Marker. Magic Ink Pictures. I have no idea why I'm reading everything at once, word by word. But it also provides a pen that I have not opened. Alright, just gonna get this out of it. This board right there, I'm just gonna simply keep it. This one is just basically a magic ink, of course. And this book right there is what I'm about to do. So this is what it looks like. Simple set of instructions is what it is. I'm just gonna simply adjust the camera right now just to get a better look of what this looks like. This is gonna be a long process, but let me see if it works. Oh, okay. That's some sort of like a material with it. So even though I had to color it very slowly and not accidentally mess up here, coloring is just basically as simple as doing everything at once. So gotta conserve all the ink, don't waste them, and then just calmly color over them. Let's use Imagine Ink on Sonic. I don't recommend just wasting too much magic ink out of this, so that means I'm just gonna have to brush them automatically. I wonder what the material looks like here. It's kind of like pretty strong on my end. That's quite impressive here. So that's what the magic ink looks like. Except it got over the page itself. That's not good. But anyways, let's just answer everything. Let's see how this colors. The first one is technically done here, so I guess that's the one. Okay, so on every page I had to find a hidden ring, so that means I gotta color as much as I can. This also includes the background colors, so that means I gotta color as much. So just gonna skip through all. Alright, I guess the first page is done. Here is the second one so far. It's basically the tic-tac-toe version. Unfortunately, because I don't have another player to play with, I'm just gonna play by myself and just color randomly. So basically, here's what it is. So here are the results. Game 1, Tails wins. Game 2, Sonic wins by a cross. Game 3 is Sonic. Game 4, Tails. I guess they both tied. But let's just color in the rest just to review everything. Alright, Alright, this is the second page done. Can you spot the 5 differences between 2 pictures of Amy? Oh damn, that Amy on the right has noticeable differences. A lot of coloring differences. It looks a little bit haunted. So this one is technically purple dressed Amy, with green of course. And I guess this is the answer so far. Headband, gloves, dress, boots, even her Pico hammer. Alright, Amy's done. Sonic is trying to lure Dr. Eggman, color the picture, then find the one path that will let Sonic go through. Alright, overall, looking at this picture, I think D might be the answer that leads straight to Sonic. Yep, Sonic himself. So that's the answer. It's called D. There we go. Looks like this is a missing picture here. Let's see how it's colored. I knew it. It's C. So here are the rest so far. This one's done. Mechanical genius that can fly by spinning his tails like a helicopter. And I know who that is. Tails. Alright, I guess Tails is done now. Color in a square in a number scrambler and look for that number on the game board. If it's 3, color that square in. Take another turn by coloring in another square in a number scrambler. Try to fill in 5 squares in a row on your game board. Can be vertical, horizontal, diagonal. Get 5 rows before you reveal 3. It's a win. So I guess there's a number scrambler. So this is a free space. So apparently I kinda didn't say bingo here, but this is the diagonal bingo, so that means that could be the win. Yeah. Overall I'm just gonna color everything, so that's the bingo. And Eggman's number scrambler is finished. Even though I don't play those games a lot. And I know who these characters are. We got Sonic. Okay. What? We got Knuckles. And Shadow. So I guess him SKS. No, I said S wrong. It's supposed to be C, K, S. See, I only got one wrong, but that's what it is. Alright, that's finished. I already know who the guardian of the master animal is. Always is Knuckles, the echidna. Okay, as much as I can tell, there's not that much coloring for this entire background. So this is the closest I've gone so far. Here's the next one. Tails will always follow Sonic, as in every other classic games. So let's start from here. So yeah, only one error that I made so far, so that's the X, and this is Sonic right there, and Tails. So, of course, let's just color everything, just to see what are the secrets. Alright, so far this is the closest I can color as much. I'm starting to run out of ink a little bit. It's just too much to color the whole page like this. Not sure how would that be possible for me to do everything at once. There's a lot of several pages though. One of the characters below is ready to attack. Connect the dots in a numerical order. The character that is not crossed out is the answer. So apparently the answer is Knuckles the Echidna himself. Knuckles is the answer. Now to fill in the rest. There, it's finished so far. Sonic is ready to run. Help him find his way through the ring. Make your way to the center of the maze by moving through openings that spell the phrase, "Gotta go fast." Okay, I guess that's what it is. Let's start from here. So this is the overall results to get Gotta Go Fast. GOTTAGOFAST, and this leads to the finish line. So that's the overall results so far. Now I'm just going to color the rest of everything. So this is the overall results so far. Next page. Okay, just only 3 pages left here. It is way too much to work with. Just find your way through maze to spell Knuckles. So I start with this word here. And the word itself does repeat, so I had to continue on. Okay, so those are the overall results. This one I made an error here because I thought there was like any words that are near Knuckles spelling. So there's like 3 Knuckles words. So it starts from all the way from here, around here, and then just go around, and then this is where I left off here. Or an alternative, it can also be LES right there. So it can be something like this. I did not realize there's another alternative letter. That works. Okay, now just to fill in the rest. So one time I forgot to color this. For some reason I might have skipped a letter here. So I forgot to color C. Okay, just need to take a break from all that coloring here. It's just too much ink to use up here. Even though I got like the last few pages. So I'm just gonna hold off for now. Okay, there's more stuff here to unbox. Here is the Tails backpack that I got from GameStop. I know it's kind of like a lot of money here, but this is what the whole thing looks like. So of course if I open this zipper, just gotta remove some plastic wrappers. and I just knocked everything over, but I'll get into those figures later. So here's the overall design. Just gotta remove this cardboard in there. Basically, I can just simply fill in anything I want inside this backpack, and a small zipper contains any small items to carry. Second is just basically another cardboard in there. Okay, I just cleared out everything, and basically that's just a Tails backpack with a happy face, of course, and the ears and hair as well. And on the back side, just carrying everything over. And it did cost around almost $55, but I was able to use all my points to get a discount of everything. Basically, just gonna remove those straps here, and then another one so that I can open it just fine. So basically, all I have is just basically a small portable backpack that's easy to carry, but I may not be able to carry large objects like this. So of course, pretty compact backpack that I can definitely use for a small trip. Overall, I like this design a lot. And now for the main event. So let's begin by unboxing Silver in a Green Lantern outfit from DC. So here's the front side itself and the back side, which I am still missing Amy as Wonder Woman to this day, but I'm just gonna unbox it. This one is gonna keep unboxing Silver is kind of like more difficult for me to get him out, but overall Silver is a little bit heavy than what I've carried so far. So this is now my first Silver figure that I gotten. Basically, it's almost like a size of how I obtained the Sonic Prime figures. Silver himself is in a Green Lantern cosplay. Basically, his mask is pretty much green, as well as his outfit also pretty much green. His elbows, arms, and wrists, even his fingers are pretty much movable. The legs, of course, the knees, and his feet as well. He turns his head like 360 all around him, like that. Except it's kind of like more difficult to turn whenever his arm's in the way. Basically, he has like a lot of joints to where he can move and pose him pretty much for anything that he wants to do. Yeah, for some reason, he does tend to tip over a lot if I were to pose him in the wrong direction. But he's pretty much amazing, and I love this design as much. Alright, I think I should set this aside, since I don't have to try to make a way too detailed review. I'll keep it simple as possible. Okay, there's the next figure right there. It's just basically Sonic as the Flash. This is the box in front, and also the back side as well. But let's just get him out. Keep this as well. Here is Sonic himself. The unboxing was kind of like more difficult than Silver's. Basically, Sonic wears red as the Flash, so he's no longer have blue fur all around him. The only difference is that he does have some electrical aesthetics around his body, just to symbolize lightning speed. And as always, he's pretty much the fastest character. Besides that, he can move his elbows, his fingers, wrists, hands, arms, and even his legs as well, these, and his head as well. Looking at the backside is pretty much detailed, and the shoes are just completely yellow, and it's kind of like slightly difficult to see the details. Alright, I'm just gonna set this aside for now. Okay, so here are the figures I knocked over here, and over here is just basically a 2-in-1 figure of Knuckles and Superman. This is just the front side here. It does actually cost more than just one figure itself. And the back side also has everything that I needed to unbox them. Anyways, let's get these two out. keep this cover. And to get these two out, of course, I guess they made it even more difficult for me to unbox. So, gotta be careful with this. Okay, unboxing is even more difficult than I thought it would be. So, here's the two figures. Knuckles, unfortunately, he also cannot move his elbows here. Aside, he can turn his arms and only his legs. So, besides all the joints, this is Knuckles himself, just at a neutral face. He does wear a Superman outfit along with a cape. Except it does not have a logo itself. Yeah, the logo's very hard to see inside Knuckles' quills. But I'm hoping that this is a Superman logo that it looks like. The shoes are the same except they're fully red. And everything else, just a basic figure of Knuckles. So I'm just gonna set this aside here. He's pretty much amazing. And here's Superman himself. This one I've never gotten any of the DC figures before. But I'm gonna say it's gonna be my first one to acquire those figures. So that's his head right there. He's pretty much muscular. He can move his joints around him, including his arms and his legs too. His cape is super flexible, is what I have not seen or felt before. I love the idea of how they use those types of materials to make the cape so flexible that's basically, it feels like it's flowing, but it's not a cloth or something. It's just basically made out of rubber plastic. The legs, feet can also be moved as well and can be rotated. And for posing is kind of like more difficult, unlike other Sonic characters, because every human postures can easily trip too much and not even balance pretty well. But I love this design here, so I'm just gonna hold on for it. Alright, I think we got like two more here. I'm just gonna take out this one. I've never seen a cyborg before from any DC comics, but this one is Tails as Cyborg. And this is the front side and the back side as well. Now, just to open it. Keep this for reference. Okay, that was faster than what I thought it would be. So here's the cyborg and Tails as a cyborg. Alright, so for Tails, almost his body is completely cyborg except for half of his head. Just like the actual cyborg is what it looks like. It's kind of hard to see the details here, but the only difference is that it's a little hard for Tails to move his arms and legs, since it's just basically how they designed him, but it can just simply be rotated as well as just trying to give it a nice posture what the cyborg Tails looks like. His twin tails can be rotated so far, but it's easy for him to break off. On the back side, just nothing else going around here, and everything is what his detail looks like. Alright, so I'm not familiar with explaining a lot of how I like it the most, but I love the Tails design as a cyborg, so I'm just gonna keep that. Main one is just gonna be the cyborg himself. Alright, next one's going to be the cyborg himself. Basically, it's more detailed than any other DC figures that I've gotten. And here's his head so far that also has half of the cyborg parts. And his entire body is just robotic size, just basically all the cyborg parts. He has the arm right there and his other arm. He can move both of them. His elbow right there is just a little bit limited movement. And his other one is also the same situation. But he can also move his legs as well. And I think moving his knees is a little bit harder than I thought it would be. But as long as I don't break him too much here, I could just try to get him to stand like this so far. Yeah, he's not easy. Every human figures are not easy to make them stand. So that's all I have about Cyborg. just gonna keep him. The final item to unbox is the Batman Shadow. Alright, this is the final item here. Batman on the right and Shadow as Batman on the left. The front side is what it looks like, and also the back side as well. Again, I got mostly everything, so I'm just gonna unbox him. Keep this for reference. And now, just to unwrap him. Okay, unboxed. Here's Shadow right there, and Batman. So like the promotional trailer from Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow is basically Batman himself. And I love this detail as well as this flexible cape, and basically the second character to feature cape. However, it does tend to break easily for some reason because I noticed that it's about to fall from him. But aside that, he does have limited movement with his arms and hands. The legs right there can be moved, but because of the cape on the way, it's pretty much harder for him to try to get him to stand. And his red stripes turn to gray stripes, which is what it looks like as of now, including the back side. So some major differences for Shadow the Hedgehog himself. I love his body as much, so I'm just gonna keep him. Here is the next one. This is Batman himself. Very detailed and muscular, and his flexible cape like Superman. So basically, that's just Batman himself. He can move his arms, elbows, and my camera does not seem to all focus. Yeah, and he can rotate his wrists as well. His legs, he can bend his knees, move his legs, move his torso, and basically his feet. So I love the detail of Batman so far. No paint damage of everything, even if it's just some minor inconsistencies. Like all the human figures, it's also a little difficult. In other words, extremely difficult for it to stand. But I'm just gonna keep it. That should be it for all the unboxing. Okay, so I think I should have enough ink just to recharge all the last 2 pages here. So back to the magic pen. Who is the evil genius? Okay, I forgot to adjust my camera angle. This one. Who is the evil genius who plans to conquer the world? And I know who that is. Dr. Eggman. Let's see, color him. Okay, it looks like I ran out of ink for some reason because I keep scrubbing it too much here. So I'll have to dip in with some extra water or some liquid. The only way to refill it is just use an isopropyl alcohol, which is what I looked up online, and see how this fares out. If I were to shake it, refill some ink. Let's see. Okay, I just made it even worse, so... But, let me see if I can fill in the rest. Oh, wait, I think I see the effect going as well. So I think the refill did technically help. Just gotta try to put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. I don't want too much, otherwise it'll just smudge or make it even worse. So I just gotta carefully dip it like this. Yeah, you don't want too much solution. Just give it a nice shake. Don't want to use it too much and then shake it. And then reapply it. Okay, so I think this is the closest I got so far. It did smudged off the bottom side, which I was supposed to finish, but I can finish the final one if I were to get the last set of ink, of course, as long as it don't cause too much damage. Yeah, I'm out of ink, but it now feels like it colored. Yeah, time to finish them. Okay, and this is the overall results here. It's kind of like hard to read everything. It does say life in the fast lane is the final piece of the message so far. And overall, let me check the other side, see how well it did. Well, it did some work, but that's just basically the overall conclusion of the Imagine Ink Magic Ink pictures. The only issue about this is that it uses every ink before I was able to finish everything, which is why I had to use this isopropyl alcohol, which is only a temporary solution, except it will be a little bit too messy, of course. So I don't recommend doing that unless if I were to just dip it a little bit and just let it soak for a while. So of course, that's basically how I colored everything at once. So, that's completed. Overall, not everything else to say about all these figures after all. But even though I didn't explain every figure as much, at least all I can do is just show off all the figures that I unboxed so far. So thank you all for watching this unboxing video. I know this is kind of like a rushed unboxing. If you guys do enjoy it, please consider following me on other social media platforms in my About page. This is VlogWithAvroTF signing out.